It starts with the basic differentiation between the traditional costing and the strategic costing. So traditional is reactive, strategic is proactive. It is a corrective measure and this is a preventive measure. This is short term and long term, and this is risk averse and this is risk taking approach. This is a revision class, so if you need explanation, please refer to the original video. This is just for revision before your exams. Next, we have pillars of SCM. You can remember it by the first three letters. S for strategic positioning analysis, and C for cost driver analysis. M is for management. Management will provide value, so you can remember this by value chain analysis. Now let's see strategic positioning analysis. Here we have divided into 4 types. How can we check what is the position of our company? For that we need 4 things. First is the vision and values of the company. Second is mission and objectives of the company. And third and fourth are economics. That is SWOT analysis. This is microeconomic, which is strength and weakness of that particular company. And this is macro analysis, which is opportunities and threats available for that company in that industry. The next thing is cost driver analysis. Here we have divided the supporting cost into 2, resource cost and activity cost. Again, we have divided the activity cost into 2. First one is organizational cost, which is further divided into 2, structural cost and executional cost. The structural cost need not be necessarily high so that the quality is also high. Whenever the executional cost is high, it means we have a better performance. The second one is operational cost. And then finally, value chain analysis. Here, all the activities are divided into 2, primary and support activities. The primary activities will include logistics, operations, sales, services, and marketing. In that marketing, we have a small concept of 7 P's and 4 P's. 7 P's will include 4 P's, the original 4 P's, which is product, price, place, and promotion. For these 4 P's, we have 4 C's from customer's point of view. Product is what the customers want, price is what the customers cost, place is what is convenient for the customer, and promotion is how we communicate to the customer. And 3 extra P's we have is people, process, and physical evidence. And in support activities, we have infrastructure, HR management, resources and development, and finally procurement. And how do we do this value chain analysis? First, we will check for the industry as a whole, what are the primary activities and what are the support activities. Then we will see what core competency we have for that specific company. And then we will see the segment wise in between our company itself. Next small concept we have is competitive advantage. So a company can gain competitive advantage either by being a cost leader or by bringing in differentiation in products. Now, how can we assess this competitive advantage? First, we have to analyze whether we can become a cost leader. For this, we have to check all the internal cost. Second, we have to check for internal differentiation, whether there is a possibility for differentiation in our product. And finally, vertical linkage. Here we can extend the value chain across the suppliers and users, that is customers. And then the next very important concept is business model canvas. How can we draw a business model canvas? So here we basically have all the cost related items in the left side and all the revenue related items in the right side. In the revenue related items, first we have customer segments, which is who are the customers, and then we have value proposition in the center, which is what are the products and services we are offering, goods and services. Next we have distribution channels. This is how are we going to distribute the products, how are we going to service the customers. And then we have customer relationship. How can we get the customers and keep them, get customers. And then we have revenue streams, how the business will actually make money. This is money for the business. And then in the left side we have key resources, which are the most important assets for the business. Then we have key partners, which will include our suppliers. Then we have key activities, what is the most important thing to do. Maybe it could be manufacturing or it could be the differentiating factor in our product. And then finally cost, what are the businesses expenses. So this is the business model canvas. So all these are related to customer, and this is related to our infrastructure, and these two relates to the financial viability. Next thing we have is value proposition canvas. So for every customer, this is customer profile. So every customer will have a desire, which is their gain, a thing they need to get it done, any job or any work that they have to get it done, and a pain, negative aspects in doing this job. So, as a business, how can we provide value? We have to create this gain, we have to relieve the customers from this pain, and we have to get their job done by our products and services. And then next thing we have is external environment. This is very, very important. It's a small, very small concept, but you can get this in MCQs. Just get a brief understanding about all of these. So we have PESTEL, which is political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal. Plus new thing we added here is ethical. So you will be given a sentence like organization is trying to bring in a pollution reducing mission. What is this related to? Now you have to find out if it is related to environmental, or if it is legal, or if it is ethical. This will be the choices for you. And then next thing we have is markets and market segments. Markets, you basically know these things. Now let's straightly get into how to segment these markets. So markets as a whole, we have to divide this into segments. So all the segments should be homogeneous internally. They should be same, and it should be heterogeneous externally. These two should not match, and it should be clearly identifiable, and it should be reasonable, that is in the amount, in the size, and it should be responsive in the sense, if a business is trying to do something for the segment, the demand should respond in such a way, whether it is positive or negative, it should be responsive. Now we can segment this market based on these five also. First is product segmentation, where we will group the customers according to the product which they buy. And second is demographic. Demographic is basically the age, gender, and everything. Then psychographic, which will include their interest, how do they like it, what are the lifestyles. And then behavioral, which will include their purchasing habits, their spending habits, their brand interaction. And then finally geographic, which you know, like based on city or country. The next concept we have is key success factor, which are critical to the success of the company. These are also called as CSF, that is critical success factors. So every company should focus on improving these key success factors and should try to analyze what is a key success factor. How can we do it? How can we know whether it is our core competency? First thing, it should be relevant. It should be relevant to your customer also. And the second, difficulty of imitation. If any company can easily imitate it, then it is not your core competency. Third, breadth of application. It should open up big markets. It should not be just limited to one particular market. And then next concept we have is information technology. Here we have three important concepts: information, IT, IS, and IM. Here we have a brief summary of what are these things. So technology is what we will use, and system is how we will use it, and management is where we will use it. So this will be business driven, this will be technology driven, and this will be management driven. Please note, IT is not technology driven. IT is business driven. Then this will be demand oriented, this will be supply oriented, and this will be relationship oriented. And this we can apply to divisions in SBU, that is levels, and this we can apply based on the activities, and this will have to apply throughout the organization. In this IT, we have IT in Porter's five forces and IT in value chain analysis also. Let's see one by one. So first, IT in Porter's five forces. I hope you know what is Porter's five forces, which is first one is rivalry, that is competition. Here we have bargaining power of the customer. Here we have bargaining power of the supplier, threat of substitutes. Here we have threat of new entrants. These are the Porter's five forces. So in how can we apply IT in all these five forces? When the customer's bargaining power is high, we have to use data warehousing and data mining in such a way we can help the customers and we can make them loyal to us. Bargaining power of supplier is high, then we can use ERP system and integration so that they are included in the supply chain. And then next we have threat of new entrants. We can use technology to create barriers, tools to create barriers, and then we can also break the barriers. If you are the new entrants, you have to come into a new market, you can use it to break the barriers. And then finally, competition, rivalry among the firms. Here we can include all the technology to make the best use of all the resources available to us. Next thing we have is IT and the value chain analysis. So we saw that primary activities will include all the logistics, operations, marketing, sales, and services. How can we bring in IT? We can bring in RFID, ERP, and MRP in inbound logistics, CAD and robots in operations, barcoding, RFD in outbound logistics, and we can use the customer data to improve our marketing and sales. And after sales services, we can use IoT enabled services. And in secondary activities, that is infrastructure, technology development, HR management, and procurement. Procurement, we can use e-procurement and e-tendering. HR management, nowadays there is a high use of artificial intelligence. And for technology, basically technology is everything, right? Now, for example, we brought in this online ticket, which is very comfortable for all the customers. Then for infrastructure, we can use the electronic scheduling. And then finally, last concept we have here is management as a leader. How can a manager be a leader? Here, the management accountant should do four things. First is financial analysis, obviously, to offer new insights and visions to the company. And second is he should be aware of the technology for innovation in the products and services. And third is strategic planning so that the informed strategy can be built. And finally, leader. From planning to execution of any decision, from communication, everything has to be done with creating a proper plan, and it should be properly executed. Next, we have one small concept. The management accountant should be well versed in communication. He should be well versed in business ethics and also decision making. So communication should be two-way. It can be formal or informal. The vision and strategy, it should be properly communicated. It should be a smooth process. Next, decision making. Management accountant should be considered the decisions he is making should be informed. It should be rational, and he should also aim for the common goals of all the people working in the company. Then finally, business ethics. So one should always see the end use. It should be economically good and also socially good. That's it about the first chapter. I hope this revision helps you.